What got me excited about having Gino on the podcast again is I got an email from him, and he talked about something called Leap Lessons. What he did is he interviewed, I believe, was it hundreds of entrepreneurs, Gino? Hundreds of entrepreneurs,
yes,
and asked them for advice. And it basically, it asked them the question of, what advice would you give an entrepreneur in the making considering taking a leap? And we're going to go over those responses. Number 5, as Nike says, just do it, right? And that you elaborate a little bit. Being a crappy entrepreneur is better than having a real job. It's like a bad day of fishing is still is better than a good day at work, right? So being a crappy entrepreneur is better than having a real job. And don't think that your first business always has to be your last business, right?
Yeah, and so actually, being a crappy entrepreneur is better than having a real job. I want to grab those words because, these words are right from the entrepreneur's answer that I asked. And certainly, again, there were variations of this one. But the point here is, if you think you're an entrepreneur in the making, again, just do it. The only way to find out is to do it, okay? And again, I'm going to keep coming back to these 6 essential traits. And please go back to the first podcast that we did, listeners, so you know what we're talking about. With the 6 essential traits. But assuming that you do, and even if you don't, if you want to find out for yourself, you got to take a leap, you got to try it, you got to do it, you got to practice it. And the other reality, the second point is, odds are pretty good you're going to fail the first time. So to your point about, launch with a product versus the perfect product, it's the same way of saying what I'm saying is, odds are you're going to fail the first time. And a great entrepreneur with the 6 essential traits, they fail that first time, and then they reinvent themselves, their product, their service, and then they fail a little bit again, and then they reinvent themselves and a little bit more, and ultimately they achieve success. And so you might as well start that process now, do it now. Just go out there and do it and sell something to the world so you can start that evolution process and learn a lot more in the real world than just sitting at home thinking about it all day.
No, that's great. And let's go back to, when you started when you sold the family business and then you went to go be an entrepreneur on your own. Tell me about that. Tell me, I'm thinking that what EOS turned out to be wasn't what you thought it was going to be in the beginning, right? And so what did you launch with and then it obviously turned into something else. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's fascinating that you're bringing that into this point, because all I did was took a leap to fill a need that I saw in the world, and that was that entrepreneurs needed help. We were all a little bit screwed up. And so fortunately, I discovered that in my 20s, and I really felt I had this knack for helping them. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, how I was going to do it, but I put myself out there. And I finally found one that would let me help them. And I was able to listen to their problems and help them a little bit. And that led me to finding another one, and then another one, and then another one. And over 5 years and 50 clients and 500 sessions, I finally put the finishing touches on what is EOS. Well, no way the day I took my leap did I know I was going to create EOS and someday have 350 EOS implementers all over the world. So the point there was, to this exact point, I just did it. I just put myself out there knowing there was a need, knowing that this was what I love, this is what I have a knack for, and I just evolved and figured it out every step of the way, which is what I continue to do even with this project now.